Tell us who you are.
Ned Overend, I ride for the Specialized team.
And tell us how you first got into mountain bicycling. What first drew your interest?
Oh, I've been in endurance sports for a long time. From running, I got into triathlons. From triathlons, I got into road bike racing. And then I was road bike racing when the mountain bike craze started to get popular. And I decided that I had done some motorcycle racing also, so mountain biking was kind of a natural for me.
What do you like best about mountain riding?
Oh, probably no cars and the fact that you can get out in the wilderness. It's just kind of the same thing I liked about running. I usually ran in the mountains and stuff like that. And you know, you get a good workout on a mountain bike. It's not quite as jarring as running. You know, running is still a nice sport, but probably just the fact you can get away from the cars and the people.
Are there any suggestions you would have for somebody who's entering into mountain biking?
Oh, I would. What people tend to do is get in over their head going downhill. So I would probably approach down hills with a little more caution to prevent injury when they first getting into it, and also to be courteous to other people on the trails, because especially in more populated areas, I think a lot of beginner mountain bikes who are maybe going downhill a little over their heads or a little overzealous tend to frighten people, and it hurts trail use.
Could you elaborate more about how you feel about trail use?
Well, you know, I'm very lucky where I live in Durango. We have very little problem with it. We don't actually have any problem at all because there's, you know, it's a town of 10,000 and it's surrounded by, you know, hundreds of miles of mountains. So that there's not a problem with horses and with other hikers. There's, you know, it's dilute enough. But in California, I know that you have so many people living here and so many people that like to hike and use the trails, and they're not used to mountain bikers being on them. So I think, you know, instead of shutting the trails to mountain bikes, I'd like to see some of them, some of them made one way so that you can expect mountain bikers coming in certain directions and they wouldn't be like flying down the hills, the trails out of control. Mountain bikers need to organize and have specific trails in parks just for them, and, you know, possibly build those trails themselves and things like that. And then just overall, people need to be courteous of other people using trails.
Has anybody ever joked about your last name?
Yes, probably ever since I was in the second grade.
Related to mountain biking?
Yes, that too. That and everything else. Motorcycle racing too.
Any racing tips, especially increasing speed and endurance, especially going to hills?
Oh, geez. I think probably the biggest problem that people who decide they're going to get into racing have is that they just go out and they ride so much that when it comes time to race, they're not recovered and they're too tired. You know, they just go out and put in miles and miles, and they're not quality miles. And what they should do is rest more often and put in more quality miles as opposed to just long miles. Well, by quality miles, I mean speed miles, intervals, where they get their heart rate up, you know, and work at their anaerobic threshold, rather than just, you know, plodding along on the bike just out there rolling up miles. You know, it's not as valuable as hard miles.
And how about for the hill climb?
The hill climb's the same way. You know, you just have to ride hills, and you have to approach it with the idea that you like riding hills and that you're good at it, regardless of whether you like it or whether you are good at it. You know, a lot of people get a mental attitude about hills, and they're climbing the hill, they start to hurt, and then they back off. And, you know, everyone hurts. It's just a lot of it is your attitude towards it.
Define lung fry.
Lung fry. That is generally happens in short hill climbs. I mean, that's, for instance, a time trial that's 2 or 3 miles long. For instance, the hill climb yesterday, I didn't do it, but 15 minutes and all uphill. You know, your lungs, you're breathing so hard because it's so short. You're kind of going anaerobic, and your lungs just get burned.
So what do you do to help lung fry?
Well, warming up is the best thing. I mean, generally it doesn't happen you know, on real long climbs. I mean, your lungs get tired, but when they really get fried and burned, you know, from inhaling and exhaling so fast, I think warming up is the best way to get ready for a short exertion like that.
How has mountain biking affected your life?
Well, I guess I never expected to be kind of a semi-professional athlete, to be making, you know, most of my living. I probably make 3/4 of my living at mountain biking right now. And I kind of anticipated that I would be in a different line of work. I'm a certified car mechanic and a motorcycle mechanic, and that's what I was working at. But I've kind of retired from that, and probably now won't go back to it. I'll probably go into something in the bicycling field when I'm through racing.
And that was Kelly Lee, running out of Sausalito, California, and just finished up number 278.
What do you foresee after your racing?
Well, I'm part owner of Mountain Bike Specialists, which is a mountain bike mail order company, which is based in Durango, Colorado. And I work there a couple days a week right now while I'm racing, and I work more in the spring and fall and winter when I'm not racing so much. So I'll probably work at that, and I may also do some development work with a bicycle company.
Well, parents.
What do you foresee for the sport of mountain biking in the next few years?
Oh, if things continue like this, it's really growing. You know, it's grown a lot this year, especially we're seeing more TV, more video, more major sponsors. I hear that DuPont wants to get in on the Vail stage race, and names like that are pretty exciting.
What's this? The 91X Goodie Man.
There we go.
God, I gotta switch my leg, dude.
It's going to go to the first people at Carolina, because we're going to go back to the 91X cycling cast.
What is the reason for the beginner, just so they know, that you shave your legs?
That's a good question. Shaving your legs, I came from road racing. And the best idea for it, I get a massage in Durango once a week. And I don't know, well, you're a massage therapist yourself, so you know that certainly giving a massage is much easier on a shaved leg. And when you're a serious racer and you're training hard every day, you'll also massage your own legs. And I massage my own legs to speed recovery. And that's probably one of the major reasons. The other reason is when you fall a lot, I think your legs heal better without the hair there. You know, the hair traps dirt, and it's important to keep a wound clean. And in bike racing, you're going to fall, so you're going to get road rash. And I think the main reason that most bike racers do it is because they like the way it looks.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool and it feels great. And that's probably a good reason why I do it also.
Any finishing statements to kind of wrap up the whole idea?
Oh, geez.
Your personal heartfelt feeling about mountain biking and mountain biker.
Well, you want to see this man right here?
I think one of the neatest things about mountain bike racing and the sport of mountain biking is the camaraderie amongst the racers, because it's kind of like you're pitting yourself against the course. Of course, you're pitting yourself against each other too, but it's against the course. And at the end of a hard race, everyone, you know, feels a sense of shared accomplishment. And it's kind of the same for even people who are just riding mountain bikes. When you do something difficult, whether it's in the rain or the snow, you know, or a severe climb, then it's an accomplishment just to have survived whatever you've done. And that's one of the most enjoyable things about it.
I was wondering about your family too, and how they support.
It actually, you know, I do a lot of traveling, and people think that it's hard because I spend a lot of time away from my family. But in reality, because I'm supported by mountain bike racing, and I only really race 5-6 months a year, I spend much more time with my family than the person who works an average job. And a lot of the major races, I'll bring my wife and child with me. So I actually end up seeing a lot of them, and it's been a great opportunity to spend more time with my child as she's growing up.
So your child is
A girl, 2-year-old girl.
you're going to get her started in mountain biking?
Oh, I'm sure she'll probably pick it up. I'm not going to push her into any sports, but I think just because her parents are into it, that she'll probably take an interest.
Okay. We have just a part like what we call cutaways, and we'll insert your face saying something funny. You remember what we did the time?
Yeah, I saw what you did to
So,
Tom.
I think you were forewarned.
I was forewarned, but
Special you have in mind? Like I know lung fries attributed to you.
yeah, that was a particular race that I thought about that, but there's a couple words for crashing. We in Durango, we like to say things like, for when a guy crashes, you know, he diggers in, or he augers in, or he stacks it. I don't know, an endo is usually where you go over the handlebars, and I don't know, pile in. There's a bunch of different words for crashing.
Say a couple of those that we could insert, like when we have a shot of somebody, let's say climbing up a major hill and he makes it to the top, what would you say?
I don't know about that one. Face plant? Yeah, but you don't do that going uphill usually. Yeah, that's probably one of the nicest things about finishing that climb is you get to stop.
Like, do you ever say any words like unbelievable or what or anything strange like that? That's, you know.
Oh, I guess we usually say when a guy is suffering pretty bad, he's in the hurt locker.
Just say the word.
That guy's in the hurt locker.
How about something else about that guy's hammer?
Okay. That guy's in the hammer seat.
How about with a woman?
With a woman? Oh, usually a woman is a hammerette.
Say, boy, what a hammerette.
Okay. That's a good-looking hammerette. Oh, you guys are making me look silly here. Is that it? Okay.